Hey everyone, Mike here from Clear Brands Grow. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through 5 website mistakes that are costing you money. So this is a presentation I have done to a few of my networking groups, and I decided it was about time I shared it with the wider world. So what I will do in this video is point out 5 common website mistakes that a lot of businesses make with their websites, and then provide you with some easy to implement tips that will solve those problems and help you generate more sales and leads from your website. So diving in, so most people should be aware of this, at least hopefully the business owners out there will be aware of this, that your website is a key part of your marketing strategy. And with that being said, your homepage is the most important part of your website. So in this presentation, I'm going to focus on the homepage, and in particular, the top of the homepage, which is what I call the header. So it basically deals with the area of your website that people land on, and it's what they see immediately and they haven't got to scroll. So if people land on your website and don't scroll, we're going to take a look at how you can improve that area based on the mistakes people make, because that sort of first impression of a website will kind of make or break whether someone decides to stay on your website and find out more, or whether they decide to just shoot and go to your competitor. So let's move on to mistake number 1. And actually, before I say that, what I will do is, rather than boring you with a ton of slides that have a lot of text on them, I'm actually going to take you on a visual journey from this website, which is a kind of typical website for a dentist. I've actually taken this from a local dentist and obviously hidden their name for privacy, but this is quite common of a lot of dentist websites and other sort of business websites. So it's a good starting point. And what you'll see over the next sort of 5 or 6 slides is we'll go from kind of an average website that doesn't really encourage visitors to sort of take action, to something that definitely does want you to become a customer of this dentist. So that is the example that we're going to use, and then we're going to move on to mistake number 1. So mistake number 1 is your website doesn't ask for the sale. Now, the best way to illustrate this point is if we take a physical shop. So if you walk into a physical shop and decide to buy something, you know instinctively that you need to take the items that you want to buy to the checkout to pay for them. So this isn't the same online, because not every website sells products. So it's not always obvious what you should do when you land on a website. Now that's a really big mistake, because if people don't know how to do business with you, then they won't. So as a business owner and a web designer, you need to make sure that you have a clear call to action. So your clear call to action specifically tells people what to do when they decide they want to do business with you. So based on the example of a dentist, which wants people to book appointments with them and get some treatment, whether that's a sort of checkup or a cosmetic surgery. So rather than having something like find out more, which is quite passive and doesn't really drive you to do something, you should, in this case, the dentist should consider using something like book appointment. So book appointment, contains an action word, so it sort of encourages people to take action. It's short, is very obvious what the next step is going to be, so people aren't going to be sort of anxious or apprehensive about clicking on that button. You'll also notice that I've made it stand out quite a bit by using yellow. Now, your call to action doesn't have to be yellow, but it should ideally stand out from your brand colours. So if your brand colours are blue and purple, use yellow as a call to action, or green or orange or red. Now, that may sound like quite a gross combination of colours, but we want people to see your call to action. We don't want it to blend in. The other thing you should do is repeat your call to action multiple times. So you can see in my example, I've actually got the call to action in the top right hand corner of the navigation, and then sort of centrally on the page. I would also encourage you to place the call to action at multiple points throughout your homepage and on other pages. That way, if people do decide to scroll and then they decide to do business with you, they're not looking to figure out where your call to action is. They should always see a call to action. I promise you that won't appear pushy. That'll just be really convenient. It will just show you potential customers that you are confident in your product or service. So that is what you should do straight away, is add a clear call to action to your website. Website mistake number 2. Your website doesn't focus on your customers. Now, again, another sort of common mistake that businesses make is talking a lot about themselves. This typically involves weing all over your website. So it's like, we are this and we are that and we're the best. We've got a 100-year history and that kind of thing. Now, that's great, but the customer really doesn't care. They only care about whether you can solve their problem and make their life better. So when you talk about yourself, you're actually distracting the customers, and you're positioning yourself as the hero of the story, when in actual fact the customer is the hero of the story and you should be focusing on them. So what I want you to do is I want you to talk more about your customers' problems and the benefits you provide them. So in the example of a dentist, obviously people go to dentists for sort of regular checkups and hygienist appointments, but they may also go to a dentist because they've got sort of dodgy teeth, and they want, either veneers or bonding. So if I was someone that was that wanted to improve their teeth and actually not be embarrassed, then I would be looking for a dentist that understood that. So in this example, I have written as the sort of headline of the website is smile with confidence. And then underneath that, I've talked about the sort of problems people face. So like, anxious about your teeth, embarrassed to smile in public. So those kind of things are going to really relate to me as someone that wants new teeth or a better smile. I've also included something I call the value stack, which is 3 things that highlight value that you provide to your customers. These can just be 3 short, very simple phrases. Again, just highlighting the benefits. So people tend to scan a website. They don't necessarily read like lots and lots of text. So you just want 3 things that, highlight why they should sort of do business with you. And in this case, I've put stop feeling anxious, never feel embarrassed, and become more confident. So 3 things. I'm sure you as a business owner or professional can think of 3 sort of key benefits to your product or services. Make sure you add them to your website header. Mistake number 3. Your website navigation is distracting. So we've already covered the importance of a clear call to action, and this mistake basically distracts people from that call to action. So if you've got a clear call to action that tells people how to do business with you, why would you then give them a bunch of links that drive them away from clicking on that call to action? So you see this in obviously the navigation of a website, where people have lots of pages on their website and decide to include every single link to every single page in their website navigation. You can see here, so I've got home, about us, services, fees, testimonials, special offers, and then obviously then the call to action. So a lot of this stuff kind of sort of talks about in the last point is about you as the business, and the customer doesn't really care. So things like about us, testimonials, special offers, I would highly recommend removing them from your navigation. Otherwise people could click on that, get lost, go down a rabbit hole, and ultimately not click on your call to action and do business with you. It's also up to you whether you keep home in your navigation. I tend to leave it out these days and just have a link, the logo as a link back to the homepage. Now, some people will argue not everyone knows that, but I would also argue that a lot of people do know that these days, that they would click on the logo to go back to the homepage. So I am recommending that you declutter your navigation. And by that, I don't mean sort of delete all those pages that I've told you to remove. Keep them, but just move them to the footer of your website. That way people can still find them if they need that sort of information, and people will scroll to the bottom of your website to find additional information like contact us and about us and that thing. In an ideal world, you would only have your call to action in your website navigation. This kind of, clearly makes sure that people click on that rather than anything else. But I appreciate this isn't always ideal for every business or service. So you may just keep a few highly relevant links for your target audience. So in this example of a dentist, I've just kept links to services and fees. So, if I am, serious about getting my teeth done, then I'm going to want to know what services they offer and then how much it's going to cost me. And this is another thing, and a sort of a tip is to, if you can, you should include sort of pricing information on your website. A lot of businesses, and probably your competitors, won't include pricing, especially if you're a service business, because they're worried about, putting people off. But really, the more transparent and upfront you can be about pricing, the more trust you'll build, and the more likely, to be honest, that people will want to do business with you, because they'll know that they can afford you or can't, and then they'll want to have a conversation with you. So that's my advice to combat mistake number 3, and that's declutter your navigation and just move everything that's non-essential to your footer. Mistake number 4, your website doesn't use images carefully. Now, I see a lot of websites that use really random, really abstract images on their website. They think it looks cool and think it looks, edgy, but really it's just confusing. The best thing you can do with the images on your website, particularly the image that goes in the header section of your website, so that first image that people are going to see when they land on your website, is to include pictures of happy, smiley people. Now, those happy, smiley people should be your customers. So these are people that have benefited from your product or service. So show them on your homepage. Show them, really enjoying working with you and doing business with you. And that just sort of sets a really good vision for sort of future customers. They'll think, they look happy having worked with this particular business. I think or hope that I can become that happy if I do the same. So you're sort of showing someone their future if they do business with you. So that's why you should include sort of happy, smiley people. You can see in this example, previously they've used like a very sort of a common stock image of just some teeth. And yes, I agree that image is obviously relevant to a dentist, but it also looks quite fake and quite put on. Whereas the image on the right hand side obviously shows a lady and a full picture of a lady, not half cut, so you can see her eyes. That alone, sort of seeing someone's eyes in an image, is just a great sort of builder of trust. And it's you can just kind of, there's a big difference. It's more engaging, and you can also see, you know, we've got that smile with confidence headline still, and you can just see that this particular person is really happy. So you can envision her being someone initially who had maybe a bad set of teeth and was conscious and embarrassed, but she's been to the dentist and she's now really happy, and she can't. She loves smiling, and she just really likes showing off her new gnashes. So you can just see, like, it's just a world of difference between like a stock image and an abstract image to something showing a full image of someone who's happy, smiley, and has benefited from your product or service. The other option you could take when it comes to photos for the header section of your website is using a picture of yourself. So if you're trying to build the brand around you as an individual, you might be a sort of an independent mortgage advisor or financial advisor, or a marketer like myself. You may decide to put a picture of your face on the website to sort of help build that sort of relationship. I haven't done it just yet, but I do plan to put a picture of myself on my website, because at this sort of early stage, I want to sort of build the brand around me. Later down the line, when maybe I step back from the business, I remove that and, you know, become sort of a bigger business. But for now, or in the future, or hopefully in the near future, I'm going to add myself to my homepage. But I also appreciate that not many people are going to want to put a picture of their face on their own website. Then the final mistake is that your website doesn't grow your email marketing list. So email marketing is one of the most effective forms of marketing. It may seem quite old and quite old hat, but people still use email a lot, even with the rise of social media. And if you can get into someone's inbox, even if they just see your name and the sort of the email subject line and don't actually read your email, you're still branding a part of their lives that's very private to them. So if you can sort of send an email sort of every week, every 2 weeks, or even sort of every month, you're still going to get in front of them. And email marketing is very inexpensive compared to a lot of other sort of marketing channels. So email marketing is very important. It's also important because not everyone is going to be ready to buy from you the first time they land on your website. So they won't be ready to commit straight away. So it's important to get their email address so that you can nurture them over a number of weeks and then eventually bring them back to your website to become a customer. So how do you get someone to give you their email address? Now, a lot of websites rely on the sort of whole sign up to my newsletter sort of trick. But let's be honest, how many people actually sign up to those sort of things? If I see a section on a website that says subscribe to my newsletter, I immediately think spam, and there's like literally zero chance that I'll sign up for it. If, on the other hand, they are offering something for free in exchange for my email address, then I think actually, you know, it's a transaction here. We're both getting something out of it. Why not? So that, my friends, is an example of a lead magnet. So a lead magnet is something you give away for free in exchange for for visitors' email addresses. Now, a lead magnet can be in the form of anything, like a PDF, webinar, course. If you're a product business, maybe a free sample. But I can promise you've all come across lead magnets in the past. You probably all signed up to them, like a webinar. You know, you're giving away your email address. You don't really think about it, and then you end up, you know, getting regular emails from these people. And if they're good at what they do, they should be sending you regular emails that over time will sort of nurture you, provide more information, ideally provide value. So if you sign up to something for free and the next email you get from them is like buy my product, then you're probably likely to unsubscribe. But if for the first sort of 5-6 weeks or however long they send you some really useful content, then you're going to sort of start to trust this person. And eventually when they do ask for the sale, you're way more likely to go for that. So that's what we want you to do with your customers. Give something away for free. If you can solve one very specific problem, that would be great. So for me, on my website, I do actually have a lead magnet, and actually the lead magnet is this particular presentation. Obviously not in a presentation format, in a PDF format, but I just sort of list out the 5 website mistakes that are costing you money, and then provide a little bit of advice, kind of like I have today, about how to solve it. Also make sure you have a very catchy and almost clickbaity title. So 5 website mistakes that are costing you money is quite attention seeking and attention grabbing. In this example, I've put get whiter teeth without breaking the bank as a sort of headline, but actually my lead magnet is actually called 6 simple ways to naturally whiten your teeth at home. So even though I am the dentist and I'm providing like teeth whitening and cosmetic surgery or cosmetic dentistry, I'm not trying to sell something up front. I'm trying to give value. So if I can help someone whiten their teeth at home, that's great, because most people will probably try this and either not succeed, or will succeed but will want to go that one step further and actually have maybe straighter teeth or even whiter teeth, and then they'll come to me for sort of an actual service. But I have provided the value, and all I've asked for is their email address. So have a think about the problems that your customers typically face. Choose one that is quite specific and can be solved relatively easy on their part, and then create some sort of lead magnet, either a PDF or a video or a course, and then you can then set it up with some email marketing software, so that when someone fills in a form on your website, they will receive a link to download their lead magnet, and then automatically they will receive emails on a daily, weekly, monthly basis that will go to them, will nurture them over time, and then hopefully eventually become your customer. So that is that. Here is a before and after. So obviously on the left is what we started with, and on the right is where we've ended up. You can just see there is a world of difference between the two. So the after version is obviously a lot more engaging. It's a lot clearer what I do as a business. It's a lot clearer how I help you as a business, and it's also very obvious of how I want you to do business with me. I want you to book an appointment. I don't want you to find out more. I don't want you to learn more. I want you to book an appointment, and there's just no questions about the purpose of this website. This website, if we did some sort of A/B tests or back-to-back tests with the 2 versions, the one on the right would get more leads, would get more appointments, would make the business more money. So that is that. So a quick roundup of the points. So 1, add a clear call to action. 2, talk about your customers' problems and the benefits you provide them. 3, declutter your navigation. So move any non-essential links to your footer. 4, use an image showing people benefiting from your product or service. And then finally 5, use a lead magnet to grow your email marketing list. And obviously make sure you send regular emails. If you would like to see a lead magnet in action, you can check out my website, clearbrandsgrow.com. If you scroll down the page, you will see a section on my homepage that advertises a lead magnet. And if you go to exit my my website, this pop-up will appear, and again it's just driving people to sign up. So again, you can see like catchy title, 5 website mistakes that are costing you money, a little bit of a description, and then sign up, and then yes, send me my free guide. Once people do that, or once you do that, you will then receive an email from me automatically that says here's a link to the PDF, and then over the next sort of 6 weeks you'll then receive an email from me that just goes into each point in more depth. And then I think about 7 or 8 weeks in, then I ask people whether they would like to jump on a call with me and have a chat. So I haven't gone straight in for the kill. I've left it quite a few weeks. And also, if people have made it that far in my email sequence before unsubscribing, then they're probably interested in what I do and are sort of more warm leads. So go ahead, join my download my lead magnet, see how it works, see how it gets delivered, and then get some ideas from that. So we've just talked about the how important your homepage is and how important the header of your homepage is. I've actually just launched a new service called Better Homepages that specializes in just the homepage. So I appreciate that not every business, particularly now, can afford or needs a new website or an entirely new website. You may just need a better homepage. So if you'd like to talk to me about this, feel free. If not, visit betterhomepages.com to find out more. It's great for people, like I said, that can't necessarily afford a new website now or don't need one. If you're planning to do a website build yourself and just want help with the homepage, because that's the most critical part. If unfortunately you've just dealt with someone that does websites and you're not happy with it, but you can't go back to them, they've done a runner, but you need to get your website in a better state, I could just help you with the homepage. But yeah, check out betterhomepages.com and see what you think. You'll also notice that everything I've sort of preached in this video is clearly sort of displayed on my own website. So I do practice what I preach. Brilliant. So I hope you found that useful. You should have spotted some of the mistakes that you're making on your own website, and you can now see how you can rectify them so that your website will help you produce more leads and sales. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to email me at mike@clearbrandsgrow.com. More than happy to answer any questions. And if you'd like a phone call, a Zoom call, more than happy to do that as well. Just chat about your website and how to generate leads. So that's it. So yeah, hope you found that useful. I'm Mike from Clear Brands Grow. You can follow us on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and that's probably it for now. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm Mike Hennon. And you can look forward to more videos like this and hopefully better ones on my YouTube channel, which again is Clear Brands Grow. So until next time, get clear and take action.